You know what it feels like to be black and neurodivergent? It feels like being a monster. That's how it feels sometimes. People treat you like a monster. Not because I am one, but that's just how the world treats me. I feel like that's how the world treats black neurodivergent people in general. And it's very frustrating. This society doesn't understand what it means to be neurodivergent. In general, this society doesn't understand what it means to have a nervous system that takes in everything louder, heavier, and sharper than the average person. The smell, the lights, the constant noise, the sounds. But it's not just the outside stimuli. It's in the mind. It's the overstimulation in the mind. Inside, your mind is running just as loud. It's like your thoughts are constantly racing and just piling on top of each other without slowing down or without rest, without a goddamn break. And then your emotions get to rising and falling. Sometimes it's not even a warning. Sometimes it's not even a noticeable reason. Everything will be fine all of a sudden. And then there'll be times when you just already down out of nowhere, everything's all bad and you just Sometimes you just don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand. All I know is it feels like my nervous system is firing on all cylinders at all times, and it's exhausting. And then there's the pattern recognition. I know it sounds cool. I know everybody likes to say it. Oh, I can recognize patterns. I got pattern recognition. I'm tired of the shit. Sometimes I just don't want to connect any more dots, but it won't stop. The dots just keep connecting. My mind is trying to solve the whole puzzle of the whole world all the time, and it's very exhausting. And that is how I survive. That is my experience. I don't know what else to fucking tell you. It's frustrating because instead of being seen as a human being trying to navigate through this storm of human experience, I'm seen as a monster. Black neurodivergence gets treated like a monster. For example, let's take being at work. When you get overstimulated at a job, especially if you work in a chaotic place, in a place that's loud with a lot of shit going on, if you find yourself in a moment of mental crisis where you are overstimulated and you need to walk away for a second, or you start looking visually frustrated and you can see it in your face that you look mad and you look overwhelmed, or sometimes it even gets so bad that you just start freaking the fuck out because you're just overstimulated so much you just can't contain it anymore, and it's just But instead of some empathy, instead of somebody asking a few questions, instead of somebody trying to understand or see your humanity, it instantly goes straight to, oh, he's lazy, oh, he got an attitude, it's just too aggressive, here he goes with that bullshit again. But no one ever stops to fucking think that maybe that person is just overstimulated because they're neurodivergent and there's a lot of fucking shit going on right now. You know what I mean? Nobody stops to think like that. You're just a monster. You're just lazy. Get back to work, nigga. And then in relationships, that's another battlefield. If you have a partner that doesn't understand neurodivergence, that doesn't understand your moods, that doesn't understand your need for quiet, then your meltdowns, your moments of overstimulation get misinterpreted. Then now, you're the asshole. You just look like you don't care. You just ain't got no control of yourself. And they take it personally instead of just seeing that you're overwhelmed. And after a while, this kind of thing wears people out. This is why so many black neurodivergent people stay single or just avoid long-term relationships or any type of commitments altogether. Because we know you can't hold on the mask forever. Eventually, this mask is gonna slip. And all of our life experience has shown that there is no sympathy, there is no empathy, there is no understanding for black neurodivergence. So if I can't wear the mask anymore and y'all ain't gonna understand the shit, then I guess I'm just gonna have to figure it out by myself, you know what I mean? This type of thing I feel like happens a lot with black people who are neurodivergent. Eventually people get tired of wearing the mask, and when they take the mask off, it's only judgment. There's no empathy. It's just judgment. And that's the thing about the mask. You wear it because you have to. At work, at school, at the job, even in your relationship sometimes. You have to code switch into the neurotypical world. Then while you black and neurodivergent, you have to also code switch into the white world. You have to double mask just to exist. But I'm telling you, after years of wearing that mask, you get tired. You get exhausted. Eventually, you realize that there is no safe place to take the mask off. And that's where the loneliness kicks in. That's when you start to feel like maybe it's better to not be close to anyone at all, because at least the distance saves you from getting misunderstood over and over and over again. And the tragedy is, 9 times out of 10, you're probably the most kindest person in the room. Your heart is big because you know what it feels like to carry pain, to be the outcast, to be misunderstood. But people don't see that. They would rather hold on to their monster story. That mask is heavy, man. It presses on you until you start questioning yourself. Am I really a monster? And if you wear it long enough, if every job, if every partner, if every so-called friend keeps treating you that way, then you start believing it. And that's the real tragedy right there. Not just being treated like a monster, but being forced and tricked into accepting that as your identity. And once you accept that, it drags you down. The rage turns inward, then outward. The compassion fades. You start to isolate more and more. Then, before you know it, self-destruction follows. And ta-da! The system wins. They win without even having to lift a finger. And here's the thing that most people don't ever want to acknowledge. This society creates the very neurodivergence that they demonize. Generations of trauma, racism, poverty, environmental poisons, food deserts, bad schools, low wages, violence, overstimulation, and constant surveillance. This system is a breeding ground for neurodivergence. Most of us are not born broken. We are made broken by this system that is designed to keep us in survival mode. And it doesn't stop there. The whole system is an overstimulating machine. The screens flashing all the time, phones buzzing all the time, notifications, ding, ding, ding. You got sirens wailing every time you turn around. You got advertisements constantly screaming at you. And let me tell you, nobody's nervous system was meant for this kind of constant assault. More and more people are struggling to focus, are struggling to sleep, are struggling to stay sane. And that is neurodivergence too. Born out of a world that never shuts the fuck up. For black folks, that neurodivergence comes with layers. Digital racism follows you online. You got microaggressions at work. Not to mention, you're not just masking to fit into a neurotypical world, but also you're masking your blackness to fit into a white world. That's literally 2 masks stacked on top of each other. That is 2 layers of hiding your truth just to be allowed in the room. Do you know what that does to your nervous system? To constantly monitor yourself, second by second, minute by minute, day by day, constantly monitoring yourself just to avoid punishment, it's exhausting. It's soul crushing. And eventually, even that effort isn't enough. Because no matter how perfectly you mask, the moment you slip up, the moment one more little thing happens, oh, you're back to being that monster again. You're gonna always be the fucking monster. Just consider, maybe I'm not the monster. Maybe you're not the monster either. What if we never were? What if the real monster is this overstimulating, anti-human, anti-black system that we have to exist under? What if it's this architecture of fear and insecurity that programs us and programs society to treat neurodivergence like a monster and not see us like human beings? What if that architecture of fear and insecurity is the monster? And the tragedy is, in a world with very little empathy and very little love, some of us end up believing it. We have no other voices to say anything else. And some of us accept the mask and believe our role of the monster. That's the tragedy. That is the cruelest trick of all. And that is the part that I refuse to accept. I am not a monster. Black neurodivergence is not a thing that you should be afraid of. Black neurodivergence is not the problem here. The real problem here is this anti-human system and these anti-human ideologies that are consuming all the resources of planet Earth, that are destroying the minds, hearts, and souls of all the people on planet Earth. The monster is this insatiable greed of capitalism that won't stop until there's nothing left. Those are the monsters. They are the ones fucking up everything for all of us. So I just can't accept it when they call me the monster, because I see that black neurodivergence is not the problem here. I see who and what the real monster is.